Oh, I see a devil already popping up in here. Ooh. Brother, if you knew what Allah showed me of you, you would go right away and change. Up in that third balcony, the second balcony. Man, evil nigga. Oh, Yakub ain't got nothing on you. Well, I'm gonna tell you something, believers. Some of you are gonna try me, and I will show you very quick who I am. And you're gonna be surprised. Some of you little crazy Nick bros, your heart so filled with darkness and hate. But if you make the little move that you got in your crazy brain, you won't last. You won't last. And I say this, when we get real tight, strong, see a snitch and an enemy that's in here among us, he'll show up. I'm going to say this public, because I really don't give a damn about the consequences. A dear brother and or sister, if you're on the payroll for the police or the FBI, I don't mind you being there. I really don't mind. Because we're not doing anything that we would be ashamed of. So you can be here. It's okay. And even if we knew you was the police, we would not bother you. However, if you work in an evil way to try and break up something good for our people, then we will kill you.
That's a whole fact, guys. Don't try to stop me from freeing the people. Keep that shit to yourself. Let me do my thing. How's y'all doing, guys? How is your Thursday going, man? Couple more hours and it's over, guys. Couple more hours and it's over. It's Thursday, guys. So I hope everybody doing great. Hope everybody's feeling well. You know what I mean, guys? I'm not gonna hold y'all. We're gonna get straight on into the content. And I knew this day would come. I knew this day would come. But you see, we gotta start to learn how let people see things for themselves, guys. Don't go forcing your ideology and your belief on people, right? You have to let people see it for themselves. And just because they mess with a fool, that don't mean you got to hate them. You know what I mean? See, we come from an environment that the minute we switch up, we get these little mingy fuckers, our so-called friends and family, they start talking about, oh, he think he acting better. He acting different. He's switching up. You see how they program us. Oh, excuse me, guys. You see how they program us to drag each other down. This is the silent drag each other down. You know what I mean? See, when we tell each other the truth, they call that dragging each other down. The truth is not dragging each other down. You know what I mean? We got to start to normalize the truth vibes only. Truthful vibes only. You know how these people run around here talking about good vibes only? No. Stop the cap, because good vibes only mean lie to me. If you ain't fitting to lie to me, get away from me. We need to normalize truthful vibes only. And I say that to say, guys, if you have to switch up, switch up. Because we come from a land, we come from a community that when the minute we start growing, because that's all a person doing when they switch up, they start to grow. You see, but the people that don't understand that, they look at it as disrespect. Oh, he think he better. Oh, he think, you know what I mean? So no, you gotta let people grow. Let them switch. And you make the adjustment. Because if you were growing too, then you wouldn't feel no way. That's the problem. All this, oh, he getting fancy. Because they're going to do it to me. It's going to come a time, salute to the chat. We're going to grow. We're going to get bigger. And I'm not going to be able to focus my attention on specific individuals that went with me from day one. So to those dudes, because they don't have my undivided attention, I'm going to be being fancy. You know what I mean? But no, those are the dudes that just refuse to grow with us, gang. All right? So we're going to let those dudes call us fancy while we growing because they want to be stuck on stupidity. All right, guys? So without any further ado, let Candace take it away. What's in the dark come to light, and only a fool will stay a fool for long. You know what I mean? I knew Candace was going to spot this dummy because he's a dummy. And granted, guys, I like Donald Trump personally. I like him personally. I like what he did as a president. You know what I mean? I like what he did as a president. So it's not a knock to Donald Trump. But yes, is he a snake? Yes. Is he a liar? Yes. He's all of the above. I told you, he represents the black community to the T. Everything, every mingy behavior that we display in the black community, Donald Trump represent that shit. So that's why we ain't like him, because we like looking in the mirror. You know what I mean? But when you put the education to it, it was a lot of reasons why you shouldn't have liked him. But nobody cared about putting the education or the research. You know what I mean? Everybody want to run with the mainstream idea. Oh, he a racist. Oh, he this. Oh, he that. Come on, guys. You got to do the work yourself. All right, Candace, take it away.
Happy Wednesday. Question of the day today that feels appropriate. Is the MAGA movement dead? We're not too happy with the results last night. Some of them are still coming in, but it's a fair question. What does this mean for Donald Trump? What does this mean for Trumpism? Are your favorite conservative thinkers and influencers telling you the truth? Have they been telling you the truth? Have I been telling you the truth? Definitely about to. Plus, we'll be discussing a Canadian man who is claiming that assisted suicide.
This is why I love this woman, because she's like me. We could be friends or we want to be friends. But if I got to check your ass, guess what Mr. Goodbread going to do? I'm going to check your ass. And if you get mad, you get mad. Then hey, we just won't be friends. But I'm not going to sit around and entertain nobody's stupidity. Nobody. And you can call me fancy.
Is being pushed upon him by the hospital. I hate to say it, but I was right again. All right, I didn't actually hate to say that. I was right again. All that and more today on Candace Owens. Okay, so is the MAGA movement dead? What do I actually think about former President Donald Trump? And I actually have taken a lot of time. I've had a lot of thoughts and had a lot of private conversations with other conservative thinkers. One thing you should know is that there has been a lot of conversation that has not been brought forth to the public because we didn't really know what to make of things after the 2020 election shock and still feeling like something was not right with that election. I will never, ever, ever believe that 88 million people came out and voted for Joe Biden. I will never believe that them stopping the counts in the middle of the night was perfectly normal and to be expected, and that everything magically shifted when a bunch of mail-in ballots arrived. That's my personal take. I'm not changing it. But that's not the question or the conversation I want to have today. So in terms of my relationship with Donald Trump, you guys obviously know that I have been one of his most vocal supporters all throughout his presidency. He was a very big piece of my transformation from the left to the right. He's a big piece of my personal story and my personal awakening. And it wasn't Trump the man himself. Rather, it was he severed my belief in the mainstream media because they were not honest in their assessments of him. I was never going to be a person that voted for Trump until the media went very radical. And rather than saying he's not qualified in 2016, they said that he was a rapist and a sexist and a misogynist. And for me, that seemed like an overkill. And I thought to myself, okay, he can't be all of these things magically. He's been in the public sphere for a very long time. I began to sort of look beneath the surface and was shocked at what I found. I discovered that the mainstream media does routinely lie to us. In fact, not routinely, they are basically always lying to us to protect their own interests.
All right, guys. So again, here we go. And our little sweet, caring black heart, we just start feeling sorry for people. So you see it. Isn't that like no, Trump ain't signed her. Trump ain't go recruit her. She felt sorry for the dummy because she seen how they were smearing him. So just like any good humanitarian would do, you don't want to see nobody get bullied. You don't want to see nobody get wrongdoing. So you gonna stand up for them. And in the process, he put you on to how the Democrats been keeping you poor. So now you like, wait a minute. Facts. My hell of a mother did. This is the reason why I vote Democrat. I never learned how to vote. Nobody taught me actually what the vote do, what this is, what that is. So yeah, I'm going off of I'm going off a hell of a information. The same hella information that got me in teenage pregnancy, got me in child support, all this hell of information from these passionately ignorant parents. But we can't call them out though. They body, they choice.
I was a vocal supporter of Trump, and I was hopeful that Black America could see through the lies that the mainstream media was putting upon them, trying to make us believe that he was a racist, and Brexit then came out of that. And so I'm very grateful for Donald Trump, and I'm very grateful that he was president of the United States. And I've been honored that I've been able to be on stage and honor him as the then president when he was a sitting president. Something toward the end of his presidency, I think, shifted, and it wasn't necessarily his fault. Obviously, COVID was a scam that was put upon the entire world, and I was a vocal critic.
Right, guys. The minute you feel something ain't right, I don't give a fuck how long you've been running with the dummy. The minute you feel something ain't right, you get the fuck out of there. You know how many people running with somebody right now who they know bad news, but they scared to distance themselves because they've been running with the fake shit for so long that now they can't even distance themselves without the person saying, oh, you switching up. Oh, you acting funny. Do you see the template, guys? Do you see why it's not a lot of success brewing up out of the Black community? You know what I mean, guys? Because everybody be scared. Like, I'm glad Candace came right out with it. Like, I don't give a fuck how many interviews I done did big up in this nigga. When you're wrong, you're wrong. That's just like me, bro. I'll chill with you. We could chill. You could come to my crib. Mr.Goodbread will cook for you. You could drink our Henny. If you doing all that to slide some mingy behavior right up under my nose, bro, I'm going to catch you and I'm going to call it out, bro. And the same way you drunk my wine is the same way you should absorb this truth for correction.
Of the COVID era. I was the first, and I stayed consistently. I really was the only in the beginning that thought that there was something fishy about the lockdowns. I vocally critiqued Trump and said that it was the wrong move for him as a sitting president to go through with a federal shutdown. Don't forget, he shut down. There was a federal shutdown for 2 weeks. And I understand that there was a lot of pressure on him. So I'm not saying this as, oh, how could he have possibly done this? When the entire world is telling you that there's a new virus and that virus can potentially kill everybody, which is what the mainstream media was saying, and that was being reinforced by Big Pharma and the quote unquote experts, it's very easy for me to sit back on my Twitter account as I did and say, do not shut down the government. Easier said than done when you're in that position and potentially dealing with the idea that a decision that you could make could lead to an incredible amount of human loss. But I did say it, and I remember at the time I was talking to other conservatives. You know, we all know each other, prominent conservatives, and they would say, I really agree with you on this, but, you know, we have to stand by Trump's side at this time. And I sort of thought to myself, I agree with the sentiment of that. I agree that when one of us goes through something, it is good for us to be silent sometimes and to let it pass, because it's not easy being in the public space, especially as Donald Trump was as the president of the United States. But another element was like, wait a minute, I'm America first. And that's why I decided to speak out early, because the implications to me were that if Trump shut down the government for 2 weeks, if it was a Republican president that did that first, then when the left came into power, because of course Republicans were not going to have power forever.
Stop being so nice to women. nice will never equal turned on or attracted to you.
They would always be able to look back and say, well, you guys did it first. So now it is totally acceptable that the federal government is assuming the power and the right to shut down businesses. I do not believe that the federal government, or any government, by the way, ever has the right to tell us that we can get up in the morning and go out to work. They ever have the right to shut down.
That's a fact, yo. COVID showed you that your government think that it's your God. Your government think that it's your God. Tower of Babel. Yeah. Nimrod even. You know what I mean? Your government. And salute to you, James David, man. We appreciate you, man. Welcome to school. Welcome to class, man. Thank you. Do all you can do, man. We appreciate you, man.
Down our businesses and to say that you don't have a right to earn a living. I am just so fundamentally opposed to that, and I spoke out against it. Then came, of course, me speaking out against the vaccines. My stance has been very clear on vaccines from the beginning. I am not vaccinated against COVID. My children are not vaccinated at all. I think I'm probably the most in your face about the dark history of vaccines. It does not begin with COVID. The scam does not begin with COVID. And I encourage you guys to dig deeper beneath the surface, but not exactly what we're here to talk about today. The point is that I made myself an enemy of the vaccine campaign, which at the time, I was the only person doing that. Fast forward to this show and me having an opportunity to sit down with Trump in 2021. And I talked to him about the vaccine. You know, I wanted to have this conversation with him and to see exactly what it was that he was thinking. And I want you to listen to that clip from our previous interview. Here it is. We see the corruption, right? Yeah. It doesn't seem like anybody ever pays for the corruption. Yeah. And right now we're seeing corruption live, even in terms of big pharma, which is a huge topic on the minds of mothers, especially. You're seeing what's happening.
And nobody give her credit for these things, yo. She go on these interviews and she asks these tough questions publicly. Look how she stumbled this lying ass nigga Trump up, bro. This slickster, man. This good old, he's like the slick ass uncle that we had, right? The nigga Donald Trump, he don't remind you of that pimp ass uncle that slide through all smooth. Not the drug dealer uncle, the pimp uncle that always talk about the bitches and shit. You know what I mean? Like, oh, you got a good little girl. Like, that's Trump, B. That's who Trump remind me of.
Happening at these school board meetings. Where do you stand on these vaccine mandates? And obviously, I know that you are pro-vaccine. Obviously, you did everything you could to get this vaccine out. I know where you stand on the vaccine.
It was one of the greatest achievements. We did it in less than 9 months.
To be able to do that. Yeah, but now it's taken a twist, right? It's gotten, now we went from, this is a good thing and people should have this option, to military men, you're going to have to resign because you're not getting this vaccine. Where do you stand on that?
Well, I stand on, forget about the mandates, that people have to have their freedom. But at the same time, the vaccine is one of the greatest achievements of mankind. We would have had in 1917, remember the Spanish flu, killed perhaps 100 million people. Actually, it ended the First World War because the soldiers were so, a lot of people don't know that. The soldiers got so sick. It was a terrible thing. There were no vaccines. There was no anything. I came up with a vaccine, with 3 vaccines. All are very, very good. Came up with 3 of them in less than 9 months. It was supposed to take 5 to 12 years.
And yet more people have died under COVID this year, by the way, under Joe Biden, than under you. And more people took the vaccine this year. So people are questioning how.
Well, no, the vaccine worked, but some people aren't taking it. The ones that get very sick and go to the hospital are the ones that don't take the vaccine. But it's still their choice. And if you take the vaccine, you're protected. Look, the results of the vaccine are very good. And if you do get it, it's a very minor form.
This is my thing with Trump too, yo. Trump, he's a celebrity, damn near. Like, he's damn near a celebrity, right? He got swag, he got charisma. But you don't want to put this nigga in front line and be your motherfucking you know what I mean, doing motherfucking this shit, talking. You don't want him to talk, bro. You just want him to think and deliver. You know what I mean? But keep the microphone away from this nigga, yo. Please. And that's what I think they didn't do. That exposed him. The more and more he talked, the more and more it's like, yo, what the fuck is you talking about, bruh? You know what I mean? And he's nice, though, because he's a business savvy dude. So he tried to fake it till he make it. But the part where he fucked up is he was talking too much. You know what I mean? When you faking it till you make it, bro, you have to be as quiet and observant as possible. You have to become the absorber, a great listener. so that when it's your time and the mic do get put on you, you know what the fuck is going on, even if you don't know what is going on.
People aren't dying when they take the vaccine.
So basically everything that he said there, and maybe he wasn't aware, was untrue. It was untrue to say that it was an effective vaccine. I understand he had some.
That boy Trump got rocked. Trump, yo, I wouldn't even. Who wants to be the president, bro? You see the president before and then after. Oh my God, you already know Biden in for some shit, son. Man, hell yeah, yo, it rocked him though. That's a hell of a job, man. A hell of a task.
Pride. He was the person that rushed this, right? But it wasn't true. And he was not listening to me try to give and present to him the sentiments of his own base. The base was feeling this way. The base was feeling like this vaccine was rushed. We don't know whether or not this vaccine works. We now know that it didn't work at all to make you immune. And why can't Trump understand that we are feeling that big pharma is taking over our country? Instead, he took an opportunity to say, but I gave you the vaccines and it's great because I gave it to you. So naturally, when this interview dropped, the regime media took a hold of it and said, ha, even Trump says, go get your vaccine. Exactly what his base feared, right? Them trying to assert more power and more control. He just again endorsed, even though I gave him an opportunity to say, no, you know what? Everyone should have a right to decide what they want to do. And
Yo, Candace, yo, you ain't even playing with these people, bro. Candace ain't even playing with these people. And let me give you guys a heads up, right? Candace is coming after Trump right now because Trump, he ain't standing up for Kanye. He ain't standing up for Kanye. So Candace, no. Nigga, if you ain't standing up for Kanye, you ain't gonna stand up for me. So, bro, I got some questions for you, bro. Because I need to know why I fuck with you. If you can answer these questions, then I continue to fuck with you. But if you can't answer these questions, bro, get the fuck away from me, bro. And that's the shit she on right now, bro.
to make you immune. And why can't Trump understand that we are feeling that big pharma is taking over our country? Instead, he took an opportunity to say, but I gave you the vaccines and it's great because I gave it to you. So naturally, when this interview dropped, the regime media took a hold of it and said, ha, even Trump says, go get your vaccine. Exactly what his base feared, right? Them trying to assert more power and more control. He just again endorsed, even though I gave him an opportunity to say, no, you know what? Everyone should have a right to decide what they want to do, and maybe to add some clarity to the fact that he wasn't exactly sure, but he had to trust people. But nope, the regime seized on this moment and it went viral. So viral, in fact, that the then press secretary Jen Psaki tweeted, just going to echo former Trump here on the safety and efficacy of the vaccines. Merry Christmas Eve. Go get boosted. So imagine that they're using Trump against his own base in that moment to say, go get your vaccines, even your.
That's a fact, bro. That's a fact, bro. They wasn't even fucking with Trump. They was naying everything he said. They was shooting it down. But when it works for them, and Trump, he didn't even realize it with his dumb ass. He didn't even realize what was going on. You know what I mean? When you engulfed in it, you always want to check with somebody who's not engulfed in it because they got that outside looking in view. See, when you in it, shit coming, bro. Shit come. All you got is time for ducks and jumps and jukes and shit. But somebody that's not in it could look and hold you down. You know what I mean? Tribe up, guys. Tribe up.
King, that was kind of her. She's being tongue-in-cheek here, obviously. Even your king says it's great, and all of you guys are dumb if you don't get it. Naturally, having seen this, the Trump base was very upset. In fact, I started getting inundated. This was trending on Twitter at the time. I started getting inundated with people that were essentially saying to me, Candace, Trump has turned his back on us. Trump is now shilling for big pharma. Trump is probably getting kickbacks at one point, they were saying. He's probably getting kickbacks from Pfizer or Moderna. That's the only reason he would possibly be ignoring everyone that's speaking out and saying that they're being injured from the vaccine, people that are saying that they're going to lose their jobs, going to lose their livelihood. He has sold us out. And me being faithful to Trump said, let me do a live Instagram to explain to them my honest sentiment.
See, yo, and this is crazy. My sisters, my virtuous, Goodbread sisters, yo. You see how y'all got that tendency to want to fix shit. Stop doing that, yo. Stop associating yourself to bullshit, yo. You know what I mean? Stop doing that, yo. Stop doing that. If you associate it with bullshit right now, cut it off. Don't feel no way. Don't, because it happened to all of us. How many of us sat there and invested in some shit we thought was right? Real righteous. Come to find out it wasn't, it ain't shit. You know what I mean? So, yeah, Candace, you real enough to admit when you was wrong, and that's why we value you. You know what I mean? But the average person going to lick their wounds in private and lie and eat crab legs and not admit that they was running with a dummy, that they held the dummy down. I'm glad you owned up and you said it. You know what I mean? I'm glad you say things before the black community and the friggle folks could try to call you on it. Because I knew it. In my mind, I knew. I'm like, yo, why is she associated with this dummy? Because I'm holding you down, Candace. I'm in the battlefield holding you down. You holding this nigga down. This is why if y'all notice, Mr.Goodbread ain't never say anything or the video about Trump or nothing. Like, other than I voted for him. Y'all know I voted for him. But I ain't never do no video on Trump because he's not that guy. He's not that guy.
About this interview, because the truth is I do not think that Trump sold out his base for vaccines. I think that that's a ridiculous assessment. I thought that was a ridiculous assessment. And my truer belief was simply that for whatever reason, people from the older generation, everyone I spoke to, no matter how far red they were, deep red they were, about above the age of 60, they all just got their vaccines and said vaccines are great, right? And they're from
Right. Off the old ideologies. And those are the folks that are responsible for the younger generation. And so if you got the older folks programmed to dumb shit, because this is what my mom's, to this day, my mom's asking me, you got vaccine? You can just get your vaccine. I'm like, man, get the hell away from me with that shit. Ain't even no more COVID. But for real, she told me, 2 Thanksgivings ago, you can't come here if you ain't got that vaccine. I said, well, shit, I won't be eating over there. Fuck. But that's how that older generation is. They're more indoctrinated than us. Thanks to social media, we got all this information easily available. Hopefully, we're getting to the right information because that's starting to become a negative now, too. Because now that we got all this information, now you got to piece through and sift through to find the right information.
From a different time, right? Where I feel that the media successfully campaigned for that generation to believe that all vaccines are good, no matter how many of them that you get. I said this on my Instagram live. Here's what I said verbatim.
And he believes that because he comes from a generation, like people, you oftentimes forget like how old Trump is.
All right, guys, so y'all get it. Trump mad at Candace because she called him a boomer. In our language, she told the nigga stop booming. And he got mad at her. So Candace realized that he's not as hip-hop as he proclaimed, as he portrayed. You know what I mean? As his good team portray him. You know, they have him running with Kanye. They have him doing all black shit. That was to get the black votes. You know what I mean? He ain't nowhere near hip hop, bro. He run with Vince McMahon and them. He don't run with Jay-Z and them. Come on, cut it out. But Candace just now realized that. And remember, guys, Candace is young. Candace young. Candace young. She young 30.
He comes from a generation. I've seen other people that are older have the exact same perspective. Like they came from a time before TV, before internet, before being able to conduct their independent research, and everything that they read in a newspaper that was pitched to them, like they believed that was a reality. And one of those things was, this push for vaccines and believing that people were going to die without vaccines. And so I believe that his support of the vaccine is genuine, and it's not.
And older ladies that's in here, like Posh Will, right? I'm not saying that y'all ladies don't know nothing. I'm just saying listen to the younger generation a little bit more. Listen to them more. Don't just be so quick to dub them. You know what I mean? Take what they got to say and add what you know, and you'll get the win. You know what I mean? Because we got the information. You know what I mean? We got the information. Y'all got the execution. Cause us you little niggas, we got a problem with executing. We can't execute for shit. But we can come up with the idea and the plan though. And see, that's the generation before us. The generation before us worked with the hands. That's why feminism was so successful, because the generation before us, our grandmothers and grannies, they outworked these little simp men, these baby boomers, simp men. They outworked them. Feminism dead. These women ain't outworking nobody no more. They trying to look for the easy way out. They selling coochie. So feminism, as we know it, is dead. So don't believe the cat.
Not based in any corruption at all. I think he actually believes those things. And people that are saying, how is he ignoring all the people that are being injured? And, people are sending Rumble videos and all of these, websites, obscure websites. I believe also that he only reads the mainstream media news. Believe it or not, I do not believe that Trump reads or partakes in any other news sources. I don't believe that Trump is on the internet, or, that he.
Yo, Candace is a snitch, yo. Yo, hold on, Candace. I ain't never hit you with this, but I gotta hit you with this, bro, because you don't give a fuck.
You dirty bitch! Look what you've done to my peonies!
They're marigolds!
Good God, I think she's right. They are marigolds.
I may not know my flowers, but I know a bitch when I see one!
Facts, Candace. And you don't let shit slide. I thought I was bad, Candace. I thought I was bad, yo. I'm like, yo, son, I gotta stop pressing my friends like that, yo. I gotta stop telling the truth to them like that. Like, I just gotta shut up. Damn, Candace. Just when Donald thought he was safe. I bet you think like how the next time they bother Kanye, he stay something in. You on his ass, girl. Let me play that back, because it's got a whole lot of truth, and we talk about that over here. Who taught these niggas how to be stupid? And watch this. Say, my mother told me how. Your mother programmed off all that mainstream news, Channel 7, Channel 5, Channel 9. Bullshit. That's why you're dumb. That's why you're poor, and that's why you feel like you're a victim. Because that's all the news and shit do. That's all mainstream make you do, is scare you. Fearmonger.
I've seen other people that are older have the exact same perspective. Like, they came from a time before TV, before internet, before being able to conduct their independent research, and everything that they read in a newspaper that was pitched to them, like, they believed that was a reality. And one of those things was, this push for vaccines and believing that people were going to die without vaccines. And so I believe that his support of the vaccine is genuine, and it's not based in any corruption at all. I think he actually believes those things. And people that are saying, how is he ignoring all the people that are being injured? And, people are sending Rumble videos and all of these, websites, obscure websites. I believe also that he only reads the mainstream media news. Believe it or not, I do not believe that Trump reads or partakes in any other news sources. I don't believe that Trump is on the internet, or, that he's necessarily uses the web to try to find, obscure websites. I think that he just relies on, typical mainstream sources. So I don't think that there's anything evil going on there. I just wanted to say that, because so many donors, supporters of his are kind of like questioning where all of this is coming from. And I think he just...
You know how black folks is, Candace. You know how we are, bro. When we don't like a person, when we fixed in our mind that we don't like a person, we'll look for anything. Shit that we saw, that we thought we saw, shit that somebody said, we taking that shit in as the Bible. And that's just the way it is. So I like the way you kept it all the way truth, yo. Man, I love you, Candace, man. You removed the gray area better than me. Shit, yo. Remove the gray area. You kept it humble. You know what I mean? You called them a dummy. You called them a passionate dummy. You said if he was as right as he was passionate, he'd be all right. But he not.
Genuinely believes that. And he needs to sit down and, have a full conversation with someone. I was interviewing him in that circumstance, but he needs to have a larger conversation to really understand what's going on and why.
He need to come on over to the Red Pill and expand his mind and intake some new information. This is the same problem we have in this space. The old fuckers, the old guards, they don't want to relinquish the torch You know what I mean? But all they on repeat. They're on recycle, rinse and repeat, because they ain't taking in no new information, and they recycling the old information because they think they know everything. You know what I mean? And this is how people block themselves off from getting real knowledge, truthful shit. So they stay operating on stupidity. And that's what Trump is doing. That's what he did during his presidency.
So many people are just horrified.
So there it is. I gave my honest assessment there, and that was my attempt to defend him against people that believe that he had sold out. And I stand by that assessment. I believe that because Trump is 70 years old, he does not get his information from Reddit. He is not getting his information from sources that are not mainstreamed. And I know for a fact that there are people on his team that bring him the news headlines in the morning, which is totally normal. That's what happens when you're president. They try to highlight, there's a lot of news sources, and he goes through that and he accepts that as the narrative. So that's why you would see so many tweets of him hitting back at the New York Times, the Washington Post. He's actually getting these headlines so that he can respond to these headlines live. Nothing wrong with that, except there was something wrong with it, apparently. Trump actually got upset with me because, and here's the great irony, the richest irony, the Daily Beast ran a headline regarding that live Instagram that you just heard from me. And the headline was, Candace Owens says Trump is pro-vax because he's too old to understand the internet.
It's not a lie, but you ain't say that. You see how the funny style is, guys? You see how they're man, listen, it's a wicked world we live in, guys. Wicked world.
Never once called Trump too old. I never once said that Trump could not understand the internet. And yet somehow he got that information and believed it to be true. He thought that I said that he was too old and that he couldn't understand the internet and did not quite get the information that actually what I was saying was a defense of him so that his supporters would still.
And that's a red flag right there, because the way you put your neck on the line for Trump, Trump's supposed to at least know, like, all right, Candace wouldn't do that. Now, I mean, that just go to show you his lack of trust, girl. And now you start to think, is that because you're a woman? Is that because you're a black woman? Or is that because you're black? You know what I mean? You know, I'm not one to play the color game. You know what I mean? I'm not one to play the color game. But we're not stupid either. Like, you know what I mean? We don't complicate common sense. Not over here.
Still believe in him. Not only was he just mad, by the way, he then, during a golf session with some mutual friends of ours, had a person next to him who was egging this on, saying to Trump, and I know this because, again, this is a mutual friend, aren't you mad at Candace? Aren't you mad at Candace? Aren't you mad at Candace? And eventually he was like, yeah, I'm so mad at Candace. I'm so mad at Candace. And this got back to me that he was upset with me, that he was angry at me. And the next time that I saw him, he was quite rude to me. He was actually rude to me. I'm telling you this personal story because I think it is.
Then you already know. Them old fuckers, bro. It be them old fuckers, bro. They don't want to relinquish the power. It be them niggas. Those are the racists, guys. That solidifies it for you right there, Candace. I mean, I know everybody want to make everything out to be racist and shit, but he's just an old snood, bro. That just lets you know that's a red flag. Fuck that nigga. He on the koofy list now, Candace. He on the koofy list. He on the koofy list.
Something that made me, for the first time, question him as a person. So you have an individual that spent years defending you, right? And that individual gave you a completely kind and fair interview. You said something yourself that your base didn't like, and you somehow transformed that into something that I did wrong. That's unacceptable. That is not being a leader. That is not owning things that you did wrong. That is not owning that you misunderstood something about your base. That's not growing. That's not developing. In fact, he should have tried to understand why the base was so upset with him, which would have led to the fact that his base is not pro-COVID vaccine. It's that simple.
Bingo. Yeah, we gonna get his ass. We gonna clip up tonight, Goodbreads. We clipping up tonight because I didn't even bother Trump because I thought Candace liked him. You know what I mean? But we gonna get his ass now, boy. Yes. We gonna get him. We gonna get him tonight. Yeah.
I understood that. I could have told him that. But at that moment, I realized that he's not listening. Who is this guy next to him trying to egg him on to be angry at me for trying to defend?
Exactly. They don't listen to us. They don't respect us, bro. They steal our ideas. Did you hear? Did you hear what they doing with Kanye? They got the property rights to Yeezys. So they finna link with the Kardashian mother, who also got the other half of that, and they finna jink out. They think we gonna still buy them ugly shits. You know what I mean? The modern women gonna run and buy it. The simp niggas gonna run and buy it. But they think us niggas with common sense fitting to buy them Yeezys that they stole from Kanye West now. Nah.
Defend him, say that he's not a shill, to say, no, actually, I think that he genuinely does support the vaccines. He did genuinely support the vaccines. So all of this going on made me, again, question him if he was becoming too angry, which is to say that when Trump went into the election in 2016, he was having fun, right? He was naming people, giving them fun names, enjoying the base, having a good time. I would even say in 2020, you could feel the energy. It was electric. I think after the 2020 election, and because of the shock of all the things that happened and the answers that we never really feel that we got, this like sinking realization that we might be actually losing our country, I think that it pushed him into an angry space where he doesn't trust anybody, where he doesn't listen to anybody, where he's almost likely to believe that everybody's trying to turn their back on him and stab him in the back. And again, I don't believe that that's leadership, but I never spoke on that because I thought to myself, I think that that's a lot of ego that Trump is having right now, but maybe I'm being egotistical. Maybe me even speaking out about this is me being offended and butthurt that he was so rude to me. He was so rude to me on the basis of what he said.
That's why you speaking now. You ain't you butthurt, but you emotionally intelligent enough to know shots fired. So whole list. Exactly, yo. Come on, girl. Don't double down. Don't back down now. I ain't never knew you to do that, because I wouldn't do that.
But after time, I've realized that no, these discussions that everybody is having, these conservative influencers are having behind Trump's back, should be also had with the public as well. You have a right to know that. You have a right to take that information and judge it as you will. And to question whether or not there has been a change in Trump. How could there not be? How could you suffer a defeat? And
hey, Ray Blue Eyes, you was absolutely right. But that's the thing. Like, we got to separate the job from the person. I mean, he did his damn thing. And that wall, man, that wall was crucial. We wish we had that shit up now. That's all I'm going to say about that. But yeah, we got to separate the person from the title.
And know in your heart that a lot of things that happened regarding that defeat were wrong. Even if you don't believe that what happened in Maricopa County during the election was fishy, I do personally believe that. You at least believe that the Hunter Biden laptop suppression led to different results in the election. Of course it did. Many people said that if they had known that that laptop was real, they would have voted differently. So it's
facts, Posh. It's okay. It's okay, Candace. You now seeing. I mean, and this is what I said in the beginning. Remember, I told you got to let a person see things for themselves. And it's okay. You ain't got to beat them up for it. You know what I mean?
every right to be angry. But if you stay at a place of anger, right, you are ignoring everything that is going on around you. You're no longer looking and assessing things in the way that you should be assessing them because you're holding on to this almost vengeful spirit, right? That is the question that I've had with Trump. Is he...
Guys, I'm going to play that back because, you know, this is a red pill, biblical, MGTOW space. That's important. That's bars, because that go for us, too, that got involved with a Lilith. You know what I mean? A lot of us get caught up with a Lilith our first go around, and she rock us and then go run and divest. And we keep that, you know what I mean? We keep that anger and animosity and that wrath. And we don't never get to get back on that horse because of that wrath and that anger. So that was bars right there, Candace. Go ahead, talk.
County during the election was fishy. I do personally believe that. You at least believe that the Hunter Biden laptop suppression led to different results in the election. Of course it did.
Wow,
said that if they had known that that laptop was real, they would have voted differently. So he has every right to be angry. But if you stay at a place of anger, right, you are ignoring everything that is going on around you. You're no longer looking and assessing things in the way that you should be assessing them because you're holding on to this almost vengeful spirit, right? That is the question that I've had with Trump. Is he going to get over the trauma of the election of 2020 and begin to paint a vision for 2024. What is his vision for 2024? Is it I'm back? Because that's not a vision to me. It needs to be more than I'm back, right? And I think that what's happening behind closed doors, people believing that they're not sure who he's listening to. Maybe there's a paranoia potentially that's setting in, that he believes that his friends, now me, oh my God, how could you say I was too old? I read the headline on the Daily Beast. That's what she said. I didn't say that, right? If you thought I said that, you should have been a decent human being. You should have picked up the phone and you should have called me, right? Because that's what I would have done. I would have reached out to you to clarify things. That's what it means to be a person. That's what it means to be a friend. That's what it means to be a colleague, not even a friend. What it means to be a colleague is to actually have relationships with people, to honor the relationships that you have with people that don't take place in the public sphere. We didn't do any of those things. And I think that the MAGA movement is reflecting Trump. I think there is a trepidation that I'm sensing in Trump. And I think that that trepidation is evidenced by him taking a random swing at DeSantis last week. I don't think it was helpful, even though DeSantis won Florida handily. He's not running against DeSantis right now, right? DeSantis is running for governor. I know Trump voted for him and all of that's great. Why take a random swing, right? I think the base is feeling that trepidation. They're not sure who to listen to on endorsements. Do you listen to DeSantis? Do you listen to Trump?
Yo, Candace, man, fuck all that, Candace. When is you running, Candace? When is you running? And when do you need me to get a team of New Yorkers to, we're going to plaster New York. We're going to plaster New York with your posters, with your face, yo. When? Just let me know when. Just tweet it. Just tweet it, yo. You know I follow you every second. Tweet it. Yeah.
Do we listen to these influencers? Are these influencers listening to DeSantis? Are these influencers listening to Trump? They're wondering about what the leadership looks like. And I think that I am not at all under any impression that Trump can't win in 2024. Now, what I am saying is that Trump needs to take a good look in the mirror, and he needs to take a good look in the room, and he needs to read the room accurately. He needs to take a look at those that are around him that are inspiring this paranoia and making him believe that everyone's out to get him, including his friends. And he needs to exercise a tiny bit more humility when he gets something wrong. Trump is not perfect. I'm not perfect. I get things wrong. I edit. I say, thank you guys for bringing me this new information. I hadn't realized that. And there's still a period where he could transform. But I think the results of last night's election, which are still coming in, show that we aren't sure, that he's not sure, and therefore we aren't sure. And that's all I have to say about that. All right, I want to take a second to talk to you about.
Yo, thank you, Candace. Always appreciate when you pull up to the school. That was a great one, very informative. You put us on, you let us know where it stand, where you at with it. And again, yo, Candace, yo, when is you running? When is you running? Because you're a perfect example of somebody that take accountability. You are Eve to us. To me, Candace, you are Eve. You know what I mean, guys? You got to remember, it's two types of black women in this world. You have your Lilith, and then you have your Eve. Candace Owens is your Eve. So if the girl that you with or you get your eyes on, you know what I mean? Because you should just be MGTOWing right now. Anyway, you should just go the other way, work on yourself. You know what I mean? MGTOW, Roman 12:2. Do not conform with the ways of this world. Go the other way and let God show you the will, what's right, what's perfect, and what is holy. All right, guys, that's what you should be doing. But in any event, you know, we guys, we fellas, we bros. Remember, there's two types. There's this one, Eve, Candace Owens. And then there's Lilith. That's Adam's first wife. She ain't got no plans. She ain't got no good plans for you, bro. She ain't got no good plans. So if you ain't trying to hit it and dip, you ain't trying to pump and dump, which you shouldn't even do that, because that's dangerous, bro. That Jezebel spirit jump on your back, bro. You'll never be the same. Trust me, bro. Trust me. I got 2 fingernails up my butt from Lilith. When I say that, guys, no homo. I'm shitting her out. I got about 5 more months on child support. You know what I mean? Because decisions. Choices. Remember, poverty is a choice. We choose to mess with Liliths not being educated on knowing the difference between Lilith's and Candace Owens. I chose that. So me having to be under the radar, me not being able to make as much as I should have, all that frustration is me. I can't go blaming the white man. I can't go blaming anybody, my mama. I can only blame me. Remember, guys, the war is you versus you. You know what I mean? Take that accountability, work on yourself, you know what I mean? Drink responsibly, wrap up, strap up. Do not play with your life, guys. I love y'all, man. I love y'all. I appreciate your support. You know what I mean? We do it for the culture over here, guys. Remember, we are not victims, guys. We're just uneducated, guys. We are not ugly. We just poor. All right? Let's go.
You are not niggers. You are not coons. You may smoke reefer and drink wine and do crazy, wicked things, but you are not a wicked person by nature. You have lent yourself to wickedness, but you are a divine creature that must now come into the knowledge and power of your own divinity. And no preacher can resurrect you into your divinity. It takes God himself to bring you into your own divine nature. So we're not dealing with prophets. We have walked out of prophet teaching. This is the time and the presence of God. So I don't talk about God will come. God is already here. And he's working in me to resurrect you to your divine nature.